Welcome to Year 10 Health from this remote learning. Some of you I have taught before, and so therefore you would know I'm Mr. Wyatt, and for others, hello and welcome. And we are meeting very strangely online for the first time, it might be. And I'm hopeful that we can get back to face teaching before the end of the term, or definitely by the end of the year and end of semester. These unprecedented times, as I've said in many of my videos so far, and we just don't know what's in store and what could be happening next. So I try and film these videos in between each class so that they are up to date, and they're a good resource for you to go back and look at as well. Throughout today's lesson, there's a few things I want to go through. I want to go through an introduction about what this subject is. I want to introduce where you will find the tasks in this class and how we're going to structure those tasks. And then finally, how are you going to be able to access help from me and assistance, but also how will you upload your work to get some feedback from me. So the first thing I said was that introduction. Now, these are the subject guides, and this is the one for Year 10 Health, which I'm really hopeful that everyone has already managed to have a look at in reference to when you were selecting your subjects, but it's good to have a quick refresher. So this is a semester-based subject. Obviously, you wouldn't have completed it in term 1 and 2, and you're now going to be completing it during term 3 and 4. There are two main areas of study, one taking up term 3 and one taking up term 4. So during this term, we will be understanding what health and human development is all about. And then next term, as we head towards the end of the year, we'll look at the issues within youth and their health. For each of these terms, there is a SAC that is attached, and you'll be completing outcome tasks as we head towards the SAC. The outcome task will provide you with your S or N, satisfactory or not satisfactory completion of the subject. And then the SAC will provide you with a score to see really how well are you tracking in your knowledge of this subject. So you can have a read through the overview and access these by going through your compass page up to the star and the subject guide, and it's a good idea to do that. Hopefully what you've found so far is that when you click on your page, you've got today's lesson plan here, which is great. I will send you the Zoom link, we'll have a little bit of a chat, I can mark the roll that way, and then we can move on from there. Now, the way that we will work is that I will provide you with a YouTube with some information. I will also upload onto resources in a week-by-week folder system any of the resources that you're going to need to use. And then over here in Learning Tasks, I'll make it very clear where you need to upload the work for the day, which will be written back in this lesson plan in the Engage section. So today you'll see that there's a PowerPoint and a glossary, and it's a pretty easy start to the term where we ease you into the work. Now, this is my week-by-week breakdown of roughly 3 lessons per week and what the focus will be, and some of them run across multiple weeks because there's a bit of a research task to complete. Some of them are standalone weeks, and then some of them, as you can see, have major work involved in them. Each of these 3 outcome tasks provide you with your S, and then that SAC 3, which needs to be changed. It's not puberty, it will be our understanding health and human development, will happen in the final week of term, either online or in person, hopefully back to in person by then. So, what is the work from today? The work from today is all about this PowerPoint here. And I want to take you through the start of this PowerPoint, which we'll complete later on in the week. And as we go, you're going to complete 2 things for me. Number 1, a set of notes as I go through this, which you can either take a photo of handwritten notes or upload Microsoft Word document for me in that Lesson 1 learning task. And also when we get to the end, we'll have a reflection about what the strange and important terminologies and words were that came up. So, Year 10 Health. First area of study, understanding health and human development. We'll break this down into the dimensions of health and well-being, the current health status within Australia for Australians, the socio-cultural factors that affect health status, and some lifespan development categories. So let's look into the first one, the dimensions of health and well-being. And hopefully your notes are following a very similar system of these subheading categories as we go along. So what are the dimensions of health and well-being? Well, before we do that, I've got a quick little task for you. This is a task that can go with your notes and part of your upload. You're going to create a poster. The poster is going to represent health, and it's health from your perspective. What does health mean to you? When you hear the word health, when you see it on TV, what does it mean to you? Your poster must have 10 images, but 5 of those images need explanations. So I've got a few images here, and health to me might be a group of people who are laughing and having fun because socially, health is very important. If you're not isolated and you're interacting with people, that's something that can keep you very, very healthy. Education, learning keeps the brain stimulated. I find that very healthy. That if I haven't learnt something new for a while, I get that itch to go and learn something new. What I'd like you to do is pause the YouTube now and on your notes, just create that little A4 poster. It can be half a page or the full page. It can be through online pictures or drawings of your own. But what does health mean to you? 10 pictures, 5 explanations, and press play when you're done. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you've completed that task and it's part of your notes. So now we're going to move on. There's only a few slides to go for today's lesson, but hopefully you've actually started seeing some words here about development, health, well-being. These are going to be some of the glossary of terms that you might have to research later on, but I wanted to give you some very important definitions, and the definitions have been given from the WHO, the World Health Organization. So the definition of health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Disease, a physical or mental disturbance involving symptoms, dysfunction, or tissue damage. Infirmity relates to how a person feels about and experiences disease. So somebody might feel as if when they have a disease or disorder, they feel a certain way. They feel a little different. They feel like they can't continue with their normal life for one reason or another. That's what that refers to. And because we use the word well-being when we're defining health, we now need to define health and well-being together, which is the state of a person's physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual, the 5 dimensions of existence, characterized by an equilibrium meaning entire state of balance, in which the individual feels happy, healthy, capable, and engaged. Now that we've got those definitions, I think it's important that we do show that there is a difference and a breakdown between health and well-being. And when we put them together, it's an overall holistic look at the human being. So health is the 5 categories, the 5 dimensions of health, and the well-being is about that equilibrium and balance. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad, but it's about feeling those emotions within the correct proportions and at the right time. And therefore, when you do that, we have overall health and well-being. A person's physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual existence characterized by that balance in which how they feel about their life. So now I'm going to ask you a question, and I'd actually like you to take a different coloured pen, maybe a red pen or a black pen if you've been using blue, or change the colour of your type when you're on your Microsoft Word. And I want you to have a go at answering this question before we go into detail with it. What are the factors that you believe could influence an individual's health and well-being? Hit pause on the video and have a go at just 1 or 2 sentences or dot points about what you think influences an individual's health and well-being. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully that you did manage to get that task completed, because now we're going to look at this and we're just going to have a look at a few different aspects. This is not an extensive and exhaustive list, but this is just some of the things that have come up. And what I'm really hopeful is that maybe you picked some of these. So having regular exercise is really good for somebody's physical health. Having sufficient sleep, that helps with more than just regulating your mental and emotional side of things. It also really helps with that spiritual feeling of well-being, as well as giving your body a chance to physically rest and recover. And fitting in time for fun and hobbies and leisure is all absolutely critical. So as you go around this circle here and you're taking some notes, we can find out that it's a huge amount of aspects that can influence somebody's health and well-being with their stance in their place in their life. The next category starts to look at each of the 5 aspects. We've got physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. What I would like you to do before the end of this lesson is to have a quick look at each of these 5 dimensions of health and well-being, and we have learnt these throughout years 7 through to 9 health. So what I'm hopeful of is that you're actually refreshing your memory right now. We're jumping back into the world of health. I'm re-immersing you in the language that's used in health by giving you this introduction course. This is a very short lesson. By the time you've paused this video, taken your notes on each of those sections, probably shouldn't have taken you much more than 25 minutes to half an hour to complete this task and complete it well. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more comfortable with jumping into the world of health, and I really want to delve deeper with giving you some tasks and some activities that provide you with feedback in our classes that will take place for the rest of this week. I would like you, before you sign off for today's lesson, please, to go back into Compass and access the glossary of terms. When we go back into here, the glossary of health and wellbeing terms, and download that one, there is a Microsoft Word document that will open up that is going to ask you a few definitions for words that I've used today and ones that I intend to use for the remainder of this week. I'd like you to fill in a definition there, and I would like you to keep this document available so every lesson when new words are used, we add to that glossary. What's really important about health is that you understand the terminologies and you're able to use them in the correct location when you're providing a written answer to a question that's asked of you. Once you have completed watching this video, making sure that you accept the Zoom call or send me an email to tell me that you're present for today. Finish this video, you paused, you created the poster, you had a guess or an attempt at that question, and you finished your notes and your glossary. You can upload those to the Compass Learning Tasks, and that will do it for today's lesson. There will be much more content in our lessons to follow for the remainder of this week, and we are going to have an outcome task that's going to be required to be due within the first couple of weeks of Year 10 Health. But I just wanted to give you this first introductory, a welcome from me, and a nice easy start into the lesson. I hope you're doing well and that you're staying healthy with a really good sense of well-being throughout this lockdown phase. If you need anything, send me an email or request a Zoom and we can have a chat. And I look forward to seeing you in class on Wednesday. See you guys.